So we're going to be treating some examples. We'll be solving. Yeah. So 0.7 times 100. This will be giving us 70 plus 200 and 16R plus 300. So okay, before this, we're going to be collecting like terms. So 0.7y will be coming to the other side. So we'll have y minus 0.7y equals 50. 50 minus 70 plus 200 plus 300. 50 minus 70 plus 200 plus 300 will be giving us 480. So we're going to be having 480 minus 15r. This, we have an invisible one here. So 1 minus 0.7, 0.3y equals 480 minus 15r. Then we're dividing both sides by 0.3. So we should have y. We have 1 6 minus 50r. So we're going to be using this equation to plot the graph. So so okay. So this is the IS equation, and we're going to be using this to plot the graph. So we have our rates here, and then we're having our output here. So to plot the graph, we're going to be looking for the y-intercept and the r-intercept. So to get the y-intercept, we're going to be doing this. Y equals 1 6 minus 50. So we're going to be finding the y-intercept when r is 0. So when r is 0, then we're going to be looking for the r-intercept too when y is 0. So, okay, r-intercept when y is 0. So here I just did 1 6 divided by 50. That's how I got my r to be 32. So this is our rate. So I'm going to be starting with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 11. And here I'm going to be starting with 500. Okay, so our y-intercept when r is 0, y is 1 6. So we have 1.5 here, but we don't have 1.6. So we're just going to be bringing it out here, somewhere here. Let's assume our 1.6 is just somewhere here. And then for our intercept, when y is 0, we got our r to be 32. We don't have 32, but we have 30. So we're going to be assuming our 32 is here. So, okay. So, we're going to be getting, we're going to be imputing the different levels of r in order to get a slope like this. So we're going to be putting them into the equation and getting the outputs for them. So yes. So y equals to so we have r to the 10 here. So we're going to be saying when r is 10, y equals so 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay. So then we're going to be we're also going to be doing when y is when r is equal to 20. When r equals to 20, y equals to then when r equals to 2, so when we have our interest rate at 10, our output came down to 1 1. Our initial interest rate was 32 or so. Yeah, I'm coming, let me go back. Our initial interest rate was 32. So then when the interest rate, when we have 10 as our interest rate, we have our output as 1 1. Then when we have 20 as interest rate, we have our output as 600. When we have interest rate as 30, we have our output as 100. Yes. So we're going to be using this 1 1, 600 and 100 to plot the graph. So when we have r as 10, our y is 1 1. So when we have r as 10, our y is 1 1. We have 1,000, we don't have 1 1. So we're going to be assuming our 1 1 is here. So we have 10. So we're going to do something like this. Yes, yes. Then when we have r as 20, our y 600. So we have r as 20, y 600. R 20, and y 600. We don't have 600, we have 500. So I'm going to be assuming as 600 is here and then 20. Then also when we have r as 30, we have our y to be 100. So 30, we don't have 100. So I'm going to be assuming 100 is here. Okay. So since we've gotten okay, 1 6. Okay. Something like okay. Okay, so we're going to be joining this to get the slope of our IS curve. So I said earlier, our slope is supposed to look like this, and then to get it, we have to like get the value for output when R is at a different level. So then we got them here. Then after getting them, So we have to like join them together in order to get the slope. And that's what we've gotten here. So sorry, it's not meant to be as tiny as this, but let's just manage it. Yes. So we're done with the first question, which says we should derive and plot the IS curve. So I'm going to be moving on to the second one, which says analyze the effect of fiscal policy on the IS curve. Okay. Question 2 says we should analyze the effect of fiscal policy on the IS curve. And as I've explained earlier, fiscal policy is a policy used by the government to control the inflation rate in the economy. So under the fiscal policy, we have two variables. We have the tax and government expenditure. So when there's a high level of inflation in the economy, the government will increase its tax rates in order to like withdraw the amounts of money in the economy. Then when there is a low level of inflation rate, the government spends more into the economy. So and the question should analyze the effect of fiscal policy on the ISCOP. So for this we'll be using the tax. So let's assume that there is a decrease in tax. You know the question, we're giving tax to be 100. So we can either use government or tax. But here, let's assume, okay. We're going to be using the tax and then we're going to be using an impact of the decrease in government consumption. So here, let's assume the tax decreases like from 100 to 75. So let's assume the tax decrease from tax decrease from 100 to 75. So we're going to be deriving another output equation for this. Okay. So to solve this question, we'll be using the tax multiplier. And what is the tax multiplier? This simply means a unit change in income, which is due to like a change in the tax. Let me write it down. A unit change in income resulting from a change in tax. And the formula for our tax multiplier can be represented as minus MPC over 1 minus MPC. MPC means marginal propensity to consume. Marginal. So before I start, I would like to explain this MPC. So let's look at this. Y equals A plus B, YD. So this is our income. This A represents autonomous consumption. Then this is our consumption. This consumption is also known as our MPC, which is the marginal propensity to consume. And the marginal propensity to consume, this means, oh, okay, let's say I was earning $1,000. Then suddenly my income increases to $1,200. And of course, individuals are rational. So like if there's an increase in our income, it's possible for our expenses to rise, for our consumption to rise. So that percentage increase in our expenses and our consumption is known as our MPC. So let me give an example. So let's say you get $100. Let's say as an individual, I got $100, and then I spent $80. This $80 is a marginal propensity to consume, which can also be represented as a percentage in 0.8 as a percentage. So this is my marginal propensity to consume. Why am I explaining this? Because we need to derive our MPC from this equation given. So this is just an explanation, so I have to use it. So we have C equals 50 plus 0.7 y minus 2. And I gave something like this as an equation: a plus b yd. This yd means disposable income, which I've explained before, and can also be represented as y minus c, which we can see here. So here, this is b, our marginal, our MPC. This is our MPC. So which means this 0.7 will be used as our MPC in this question, because it was given to us in the question. So our MPC for this question is 0.7. To calculate the tax multiplier, which is minus MPC over 1 minus MPC. Okay, so the question says we should analyze the impact of a decrease in tax on output. So which means here we're just basically looking at change in output, which we can also call income. So output or income. And to get this, tax multiplier times change in tax. So this is like what you do to get change in income. So to get my tax multiplier, I have to do minus MPC over 1 minus MPC. So minus MPC over 1 minus MPC. And as I said earlier, our MPC here is 0.7. So minus 0.7 over 1 minus 0.7 and 0.7 over 0.7. Okay, so I've gotten my tax multiplier. Then, so now I'm going to be getting my change in tax. So how do I get this? We have 100 as our tax. Then our tax decreases to 75. So to get my change in tax, I'm going to be doing new tax minus old tax, which is 75 minus 100, which will give us minus 25. So to get my change in income, which is tax multiplier multiplied by my change in income. My tax multiplier is minus 2.33 and minus 25 is 58.25. So we got, as our change in income, we got 58.25 units. So this simply means that a decrease in tax, as our tax was 100, then now it's 75. So a decrease in tax in the economy led to a 58.25 unit increase in output. So a decrease in tax, sorry, to 25 led to a 58.25 decrease increase in output. So you might be wondering, how do I know it was an increase? It led to an increase. So let me give an example. Let's say I'm an individual, like, of course I'm an individual. Okay, I was earning $100 and I was paying, let's say I was paying 10% tax on my $100, meaning I have $900 to myself to spend, and I'm paying $10 to the government. So then the government says, okay, the tax rate will go from 10% to 5%. So I mean, I was paying $10 before, so now I have to pay $5, meaning I have $95 to myself now. Okay, so this is how I knew, okay, a decrease in tax will lead to an increase in income. And again, after solving my, okay, tax multiplier and all, I got a positive unit as my answer. So this positive unit itself also implies that, okay, we got a 5.28 unit increase in the output. So as if I got a minus 5.28. So that means we had um okay, for us to get a negative 58.25, it means tax increases instead of decreasing. So then an increase in tax then led to a 5.28 decrease in income. Okay, so the fourth question says we should analyze the impact of a decrease in government consumption. So before solving, let's look at what a decrease in government consumption can cause to the income of an economy. So like if there's an increase in the government expenditure, this means there'll be um, a decrease, yes, it will lead to a decrease in the income level, the aggregate income level. So here we'll be assuming that the government consumption here goes from 300 to 250. That's like a decrease. Government, so to solve the first question, I use the tax multiplier. So for this, we're using the government multiplier. So government multiplier equals 1 over 1 minus NPC. NPC is 0.7. So 0.7 over 0.3 should give us 1 divided by 0.10. So this is my government multiplier. Then to get my change in income, so I have government multiplier and change in government spending or consumption, anyone. Um, yes. So my government multiplier is my change in government spending. I have 250, right? Yes, 250 minus 300. Hmm. Minus 300. So we have minus 50. So times minus 50 here. So we have minus 166.5, and this implies that a decrease in government expenditure will lead to a 1.168.5 unit decrease in output. Decrease in output. We have a negative symbol here, so this implies a reduction in our income. So okay,